right, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the recap. Michael D'Angelo and El Comandante Daryl Ortiz. First off, probably by the time we end up really seeing this, probably in advance, this will drop later today. Happy Independence Day in the United States. Coming
Yeah.
up tomorrow, 4th of July,
America.
250 years, America. So happy Independence Day, everyone. And we're doing a little different this week. We're obviously releasing an episode a little early and a little late. So we're going to talk about Night of Champions, and we're also going to talk about Monday Night Raw and the implications and the fallout from that. So we'll start there. El Comandante, Night of Champions. A lot of stuff happened.
Kind of a lot of what we suspected, just not in the way I thought, right? So, like,
not in the way
of course,
that I hoped.
Yeah, I mean, Obafemi essentially had like a borderline squash match with Jey Uso. I say borderline because
more competitive than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, of course.
It went on a little longer, and I think they also tried to play a little bit too much into Obafemi's still nursing some injuries.
Yeah,
so Jay's kind of taking advantage of that. That's why he didn't completely just crush him, but it was dominant though. Dominant.
It was, and it was fine. It was exactly what I expected, except I was hoping for some sort of Brock Lesnar interference to move Jay along, because that's what I thought was going to happen. Because I remember saying there's no way they can let Jay pin Obafemi, and thankfully he didn't. Right, so he didn't pin Obafemi.
Yeah.
Obafemi got the victory. He's the king of the ring. I still hate the fact that, like, they can't, and I get why they do that. I get it. I totally get. I understand, but I just don't like it that the king of the ring can't put the crown on, because Oba in his stance with the crown with that lighting would have looked insane.
It would look great.
And even on Raw, he doesn't put it on. And I'm like, on Raw, they're back in the States. I'm like, dude, put that thing on. Like, you're like, that's the king of the ring. Like, I hate the whole like carrying it around like an infant kind of thing. I don't like it.
Walking like it's a football.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I know when Gunther did it. I get why they did it at Night of Champions, because I think you had mentioned it in Saudi. They can't, like, only the king can wear the crown, and like that's disrespectful. And I get it. I mean, Io put her crown on. She didn't give a damn. She was gonna put that sucker on. Yeah, and I love it because it looked good. But I mean, I was kind of disappointed in that. But outside of that, the match, I was kind of hoping Brock would do some sort of interference. But like as you mentioned on Raw, he just comes out and is like, hey, don't forget about me. And Oba's like, all right, screw this title match, let's go. And
so this is what's ridiculous. Like, this is where I was like, then why not have Lesnar interfere in costume? Because they did the same thing. Like, you knew it was coming. You knew that. Then Lesnar came out and was like, I don't watch everyone knows I don't watch the product. But Paul Heyman has been telling me that you talk a lot of crap about me. And then so low blow F5, and then he's like, oh yeah, I'll see you at SummerSlam. Oh yeah, I'll see you in Hell in a Cell in SummerSlam. So he set up Hell in a Cell at SummerSlam, which I'm
great match idea though. Yeah, I love that. Yeah,
awesome. However, if you were and then where I saw somebody online say, well, whoever said that the King of the Ring would get their title match at SummerSlam, I'm like, everybody, every time that came up on commentary, in the announcer said it right before the match of the winner of the King of the Ring gets a guaranteed championship match at SummerSlam. They hammered this home, and then they go, Adam Pearce is like, hey, you know what, you can get a title whenever you want to. Then just make that the stipulation. Say you get a title shot at the moment of your choosing. Just say that. But instead, they set this up that it's got to be at SummerSlam. It's got to be at SummerSlam. Then they pull the rug and say, no, never mind. I think this was just, hey, we want Obafemi to be the King of the Ring, so we don't want him to lose. We want him to carry the title, but we still want him to have the match with Lesnar. So let's just do this, which is stupid. It's like
I mean, then the easy fix to this is the easy fix to that would have just been like the winner of the King of the Ring tournament gets a match of their choosing for a championship title. Like, that's it.
Yeah, a future title opportunity.
That's all they had to say.
And they didn't do it, and so then they doubled down on this. And which is even more idiotic is later on, since Jay was involved in this match, Jay's like, hey, I'm going over to SmackDown because I'm going to call my shot on Sammy since he doesn't have a title. And it's like, well, so the runner up now, which is Jay, is going to get the match the title
We'll
match
see.
with Sammy at
Yeah,
SummerSlam,
we'll
which
see.
I'm betting he will, but and I'm sure he will. I'm sure he'll go over there because, and the justification for this is going to be, well, they have a history. Remember, like they were the only two in the bloodline that didn't get along, and Sammy always had a
The
problem,
rinse
or
and
Jay always
repeat
had a
of him
problem
and
with
Jacob.
Sammy. Yeah, and so they were going to go, all right, we let's go ahead and continue this. You know, we've got this build. This is long-term storytelling. I said, no, it's not. And so basically, we are getting what we would have gotten if Brock Lesnar had come down and interfered and cost the match. We're getting Jay versus Sammy. So the whole thing's dumb. The whole thing's stupid.
Agree.
It's very convoluted, but it was orchestrated just to make sure that Obafemi was the reigning king of the ring.
So it makes me think how the interview that came out the recording that came out where it was confirmed that TKO is essentially calling these matches now. Triple H has no, and I don't fault Triple H. He's just taking orders, right? Like he can't, like he has no say in what goes on. TKO calls him and tells him what to do, and he says, "All right, we got to make this happen," you know. And so I can totally see how this is happening. TKO execs are probably like, Oba needs to be king of the ring, but Oba also needs to fight Brock Lesnar. Figure it out, and it sucks because then it puts Triple H in a corner to book it. And I mean, to his credit, he is doing it as best he can, but it's like it's getting ridiculous now that we can tell that you know someone else is pulling the strings.
Made sense.
No,
yeah, none of this made sense at all, and I think he did the best of it that he could. And it's similar to what Paul Heyman was talking. I think that's the interview you're talking about. Paul Heyman was talking about how hard it is to be a booker right now, and talked about Triple H and said, "Hey, he's trying." The quote was, "He's like you've got to appeal to." The fans, you've got to appeal to the executives, you got to appeal to Netflix, to Disney, to ESPN. He goes, everybody has expectations for how they want you to do it, and then you got to go figure it out. And he's like, he's got a really hard job. I wouldn't want his job. And so Paul Heyman like really alluded to that in his interview with Chris Van Vliet. And it's just one of those things where I'm like, I understand. It still makes it stupid.
It does, and it sucks because it's really just like it's like these people that know nothing about wrestling, and I will say that. And I know The Rock is technically an executive there at TKO, which would make you wonder why wouldn't he step in and be like, guys, this isn't going to make any sense. Like, why are we doing this? But because The Rock's not really involved, he's just there for the name branding and getting a check, honestly. And it's just it's a shame because as much as I love the product, it sucks that, you know, we can't get like maybe we were just spoiled with our era of wrestling, that we had like good stories, and there were some duds here and there, you know. I mean, we're not going to knock them. Yeah,
the Katie Vick story wasn't awesome. I mean,
or what was the other one? The Beaver Cleaver one. That one.
Beaver Cleavage. Like that. There were some terrible ones, and there were some ridiculous ones. Val Venus, his whole gimmick was ridiculous, but
it worked back then.
But it worked
because everyone legit thought he was a before OF. I don't want us to get knocked on it, but before that was a thing, Val Venus ran it.
Like the whole thing is like there was absurdity. There was, but
it was of course, yeah. But here it's just absurd.
It made sense. It made sense. This is just more like, okay, come on. Like you can tell they're trying to cater to too many people. And speaking of which, after this was Queen of the Ring. So they started off the show with the two matches, King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring. Liv Morgan versus Io Sky. It never made sense to me that Liv Morgan was in the tournament to begin with, since she's already the women's world champion. And I feel like this was done because they were like, Liv Morgan, from their perspective, is like the hottest female on the roster right now. And it's like, so they're
aside from Rhea,
but that, like, I think in terms of like a heel. And so what's odd here is they did Liv Morgan versus Io Sky. Io Sky obviously won, which is the right choice. I'm glad that she won.
I don't like how they did it.
But that means they're going to run it back at SummerSlam. So you're going to see two in a row. And I agree. I don't like how they did it. And so my perspective, and I don't know if you're going to come at it from this perspective too, is Danhausen cursing Liv right before the match.
Yeah.
And
that gave it away.
I was like, wait a second. Like, obviously she's going to lose. Obviously, since she's cursed, she's going to lose now. So there's no suspense there. And Liv can now make it that you didn't beat me. I only lost because I was cursed, which is not incorrect, which is what she brought up on Monday night. It's exactly as soon as it happened, I was like, she's going to blame the curse, which she did this on Monday night and talked about how she was going to smash her. the match itself was really good.
Hmm.
The finish was the Spanish Fly followed by an over the moonsault from Rio, so it was a really good match. But I agree, like when the curse thing happened, I was like, oh, you just took the air out of this match completely. There's no
Yeah,
suspense, there's no excitement.
because everyone knew at that point.
Yeah,
Even with Io having a knee injury, you still knew because you're like, well, I mean, they're not gonna make Danhausen's curse not work anymore because of the whole Knicks thing and everything going on. Like,
yeah.
there's no way. It's too soon. They're gonna have the curse not work, right? So it's like,
Well, and I don't know if they ever get to the point where they have the curse not work. Like this is where they have to just make it more sparing.
yeah,
Like
not do it all the
it's
time.
got
He needs to like
not
back
do it
off
all the
on it.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
it
he
needs to
has, to
become
his
like
credit, he's been doing some nice backstage segments and like,
yeah.
shenanigans without having to curse people and stuff. So that works.
Yeah,
It
but
should be kind
I
of like
do
the
feel like
APA.
they've gone to the well too much with the cursing thing early, and doing it
Yeah.
right before this match was lame because it
Yeah.
really did take all the wind out of it. But I think Io Sky was the right choice.
Oh,
Should have been the right
deserving,
choice to win
definitely.
this one. Totally
Yes.
deserving, and I'm happy that she won. It was just again, it's strangely booked how they booked the finishes
It
on her
kind of,
first two matches.
to me, it kind of, and I'm not saying this in a bad way towards Io because Io put up a great match. This was a great match,
Hmm.
but
Yeah,
it kind of takes away from the win a little bit, knowing that
totally.
because of the curse. Like, it's kind of like an asterisk on there. Like, well, yeah, because of the curse. And I get it. They're trying to protect Liv because, she has her new hit single and they're trying to push
Forever Fly
that, right?
Live.
Yeah. But at the same time, I it's at the expense of someone the caliber of Io Sky. You know what I mean? Like, she could beat Liv without the curse, and
Yeah.
it's like, why do that? Like, I don't know. I mean, if you were gonna curse Liv, you should have done it like on Raw or SmackDown or something beforehand, like not right as she's walking out, and then it's like, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I guess that's gonna happen.
It's
But
a little too much in your at least, yeah, at least put some distance where people kind of forget about it or it's not so blatantly obvious right before the match happens.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, it was just oddly booked. Um,
but
one
after
match
that
that
was
didn't
my match of
disappoint.
the night.
Yeah, yeah, did not disappoint. Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker, my match of that as well. So take it away, Big D.
That was such a great match. There were weapons. There's all kinds of stuff going on. It was candlesticks smashing everywhere and spears, stomps. It was great. Braun Breaker got busted open pretty ugly. Like, he was
Yeah.
bleeding pretty heavily. I don't know if that was.
Well,
I
and
don't know. I
what
think he
bummed me out.
bladed.
Yeah, what bummed me out though is I watched the replay a few days later because I was out of
Oh, they
town,
blurred his
and,
face.
and they blurred his whole face as soon as that happened, and I was like, oh man, like this is hard to watch now because Braun Breaker's face is blurred for like half the match.
No, but I'm telling you, I watched it live and it looked brutal, and it was a great visual, especially for someone like Braun Breaker. I don't know if he got busted open the hard way or if I don't think he bladed. I think it was hard ways, and
Yeah,
so, but it helped so much. This match went back and forth, still chairs, everything. So I think he even had a reversal for the stomp where he hit a spear. Um, but it was a lot of fun. I like it. I like this match. I guess essentially after what happened on Raw, put
yeah.
the vision behind Seth Rollins so Seth Rollins can move forward, which is good. But I was kind of half expecting Bronson Reed to come back for this match for
I
some
was
reason.
too. Yeah, and well, and this is where so a couple of things. Yeah, it was a really great match. Obviously, that big superplex off the top of the cage through the table. They really gave it their all here.
Yeah.
Um, I was kind of like, I feel like, man, look at what's happened with the momentum with Braun Breaker. Like at this
Yeah.
point, like he was like one of those we were talking about. Hey, he should be the world champion,
Hmm.
coming up soon. Like he had so much steam behind
He
him,
was he
and
was
now they've
geared up. Yeah.
yeah totally geared up for it. He had the injury, obviously had to step away for a little bit. Came back though, and I feel like this totally squashes his momentum. And Seth beat him. Seth beat him and now moved on from him. And I'm like, man, where does this push Braun Breaker back into like the mid card, going for like a mid card title? It feels like a little bit of a robbery for him because he was
Hmm.
on such a high trajectory
Yeah.
that bums me out a little bit here.
It
And I
does.
know they're pushing more for they want the big marquee, which on Monday Night
Yeah.
Raw, and we'll talk about it now because Seth Rollins
Yeah.
had his call out with Roman Reigns at the end of the show. And now, and Roman Reigns did his rinse and repeat of, I need to beat you, just like he needed to beat CM Punk. And he needed to do that. He needs to beat Seth Rollins. So now they're going to face off in a which I'm like, this was a number one contenders match. Obviously not. You know, Seth was just kind of like, I never lost the title. He made his case.
He goaded him into a match, which is typical Seth.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I accepted it.
Like, shouldn't the tribal chief be a little smarter than that at this point? Like, I would think. But
yeah,
but I presume that means he's not going to take the title off of him, and that Roman Reigns will put Seth Rollins behind him. But you know, this is just kind of like, where does this leave Braun Breaker? Because Braun's, he really is like the future, and he's so talented. But I feel like his momentum has been crushed a little bit in the last few months.
Well, especially because it also seems like they're going to disband the Vision, because look what happened with Austin Theory on Raw. He was like, went to Paul Heyman like, hey, I didn't know you were here. And Paul Heyman's like, yeah, exactly. And he like walked away, and I was like, oh, that sucks.
Brushed him off.
Yeah. Like, so, I mean, who knows?
What's funny about that too is he goes, I've got a match later. And the match later was an impromptu, hey, you want to have a match with Joe Hendry? And I was like, wait a minute. He told Paul Heyman, hey, I've got a match coming up. But then it was like, hey, you want to fight right now? Let's just ring a bell. Like, this is an impromptu match. It wasn't planned. I'm like, well, who was Austin Theory going to fight? Because
I know, right?
He said he was going to wrestle.
He was in his ring gear, ready to go.
Yeah, he was completely ready to go, talking about how he had a match. So that was a little bit of a flub from a script standpoint. And then, to your point, Austin Theory lost to Joe Hendry on Raw.
Yeah.
So, like, again, they're just like crushing everybody's momentum for the division. I'm hoping that next week we get Bronson Reed back, because they have a tag match against Street Profits, right?
Yes.
Street Profits, and he had said, "Yeah, I hope Breaker's ready," and I'm assuming Breaker won't be ready to come back. But it'll be like Bronson Reed's back, and since they're doing the Freebird title thing,
but I really don't want the Street Profits to drop the titles yet. They need to hang on to those, because they are a legitimate tag team. Yeah. I agree. They're a legitimate tag team, and they're definitely contenders, and I want them to stay champions for a while, because that's an actual tag team. That's not
you know how WWE feels about actual tag teams. We might see Bronson Reed come back and squash both of them, and it'll be like, okay, guys.
Really, or Austin Theory's gonna pull a Braun Strowman and pull a fan from the crowd and just win the tag titles with a kid.
Exactly.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, man. After this, Ricky Sainz versus Trick Williams back on Night of Champions. Trick retains, pretty much what we figured.
I figured it was too soon, unfortunately, for Ricky Sainz to win the title. But yeah, it that's pretty much where it ended. Yeah. We don't have anything else that happened with him.
It was pretty straightforward. It was a good match. It was solid. Ricky Sainz is really good. Trick Williams is really good. Like, this was nice. It was a hard match to follow, Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins, with all the craziness. But if you just watch it kind of on its own, this is a really great, really solid, just straight up wrestling match.
I agree. This was good, and I like the callback to Eddie Guerrero with Ricky Sainz when he got the kendo stick and hit the ring steps, and then pretended to get hit by Lil Yachty, and the ref ejected him. Like, that was great. That was nice to see. But yeah, I mean, it was a fun match. I enjoyed it. What I didn't enjoy was the the United States Championship match between Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill. It just seems so clunky. It just seems so like they couldn't get on the same page. And spoiler alert, Tiffany Stratton retained, but only because a wild Charlotte appeared.
Charlotte. Well, there was multiple interference. He had BFAB and Meechin obviously came down, and they were interfering. And then Chelsea Green was hiding under the ring apparently the whole time, and
which is good, because Chelsea Green's been trying to befriend her. So yes, that would make sense.
But it was just funny that really Chelsea Green went like before the match, hid underneath the ring just in case BFAB, and then she would just do a traditional rundown. But she was hiding under the ring the whole time. So good on Chelsea Green. She's really committed to being friends with Tiffany Stratton. And so she fought with them and ran them down. And then you had Charlotte come down and get in Jade's face and then hit her with the title. So she cheated. This is a heel tactic. Hit her with the title, and then Stephanie got the win. And it was like, okay. And they're like, yay, we won. They outsmarted her. I was like, they didn't outsmart her. They like straight up cheated.
They cheated, but okay.
And again, Face is doing heel tactics again. And this is also going back to trying to protect Jade Cargill a little bit. You hit me with the title. That's why I lost.
Well, not just that.
Your crew ran down too.
Yeah, I feel it kind of cheapens the win for Tiffany Stratton. Totally. And I feel I don't know, maybe this is an unpopular opinion, but I feel she's been struggling to get her footing back ever since she came back. And it's it's been a struggle for her because even some of the movesets were a little clunky. I don't think Jade was to blame for most of them. I think there was like half and half because there were some moments where she's slipping or she's mistimed or she's not, doing her part either. So it's kind of like people. I guess for folks that don't know, it's a 2-person tango, this wrestling thing, and both folks have to know their part and do their part. And it seemed like they were just not on the same page. And then to have Charlotte hit Jade with the title, so she can win, because she was struggling on her own against Jade. She had little bits of momentum, but she was still struggling against Jade. So I feel it kind of cheapens the win for Tiffany, and it kind of cheapens the title in the same way. That may be an unpopular opinion, but I think that's what it did. And we know that this is just going to set up a SummerSlam match between Jade Cargill and Charlotte Flair, which again is dumb. Well, not dumb. It's a good match, but it's like, if you're going to do that, why not just put the title on Jade and make it a U.S. Women's title match? Because Tiffany's strength.
2 days worth of matches, so they're like,
well, yeah, but then what's Tiffany going to do? What's Tiffany going to do? She's the champion. She ain't going to have nothing to do. Yeah. So, anyways,
it's like 3 weeks away or what? Yeah. 4 weeks away. Like it's coming up fast. Like they'll find something for her to do, but it'll be interesting. But I agree. As it 100%, especially with the heel tactics, it totally cheapens.
Yeah,
that's why heels do that stuff, because they don't care about if it's a cheap win or not. A win's a win. But when the faces do it, that's a little bridge too far.
Exactly.
Speaking of bridge too far, main event: Cody versus Sammy versus Gunther for the WWE Championship. And as El Comandante predicted, Sami Zayn won, which I was like, ugh. I'm like, nobody wants to see Sami Zayn as a WWE champion right now, except for the Riyadh crowd.
I'm about to say Riyadh did. They blew up for him, which I told you would happen. That's the only place he could win and get a pop.
Well, and that's the reason why they did it. I will stand by this. They did this to cater to the Riyadh folks because they have paid them so much money to put this event on. This was 100% done to cater to them. And I'm like, you still have to do a long-term story with this guy after this, because they had already made him so unlikable, but not so unlikable that he was getting booed a lot. It was just so unlikable that he would get like just no reaction at this point. Where he's
he wouldn't get booed.
Good guy. He was not getting like Dominic Mysterio heat or anything.
No,
like he would get a little bit of boos and a little bit of cheers, and he'd be like, "Those are my ride or die guys." And there's like 4 people going, "Yeah," and then there's like 5 people going boo, and everybody else is kind of quiet. So I think they didn't exercise this at the right time in terms of like if he was immensely popular as a babyface or just absolutely hated as a heel. And then he also won on like a surprise roll up countering the Crossroads. So it was like, to insult to injury, I'm like, you surprise rolled up Cody when he was gonna hit the Crossroads. So I was just like everything about this just felt orchestrated for this one event. And that's where I would say he's got to be a transitional champion. Like, and the only way he's not is if they set up, obviously, which they already have, and it sounds like they're teasing they're going to, is him versus Jay at SummerSlam. And so they'll let him have the win over Jey Uso. Is what I would imagine. I don't think Jay's going to upset him that quickly. And they're going to, the other thing I would say about this too, is I feel like they are now desperately trying to up Cody's number of title reigns. And that's why you see him dropping it more often. He dropped it at a SmackDown to Drew McIntyre and then won it back really quickly. Now he dropped it to Sammy, and I think he'll win it back, in a couple of months, maybe.
Yeah.
Depending on how they book this out. And I feel like they're trying to get him to catch up with like Randy Orton at 15 and John Cena at 17.
Maybe. Like, but real quick correction here.
Doing that. Yeah.
Sorry. I thought he hit the haluva kick.
No.
Oh yeah, surprise roll up. Sorry,
no,
I was backtracking. Yeah, I gotcha.
He hit the Crossroads.
It was a double crossroads. That's what it was. Yeah.
He hit the first Crossroads, and then he got him up for the second Crossroads, and then apparently the first Crossroads had no impact on him at all because he like grabbed him and then surprise rolled him like backwards.
You're right.
Beat him.
That was my fault.
It was just like so
because you know why the image that they're using on the website for this victory is him pinning Gunther.
Really? Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, he didn't pin Gunther.
I was like, wait a minute. I don't remember that happening. He didn't pin Gunther.
Like he got Cody. I was like, I remember that because I was just like, what? Like, even the crowd was like, what? He won? And it was just like, oh.
It was a delayed reaction, but they popped loud for Sammy, which is good. I mean, look, congratulations to Sammy. I like Sami Zayn's a great wrestler. He is great. He is a good wrestler. I just don't like the way they did it. Is he
Yeah,
deserving of a championship? Absolutely. He's put in his work. He's put in the
100%.
time, all that stuff. But the way they got there with him whining his way into a title match and beating up God knows how many water bottles backstage
Yeah,
and consulting a vegetative state
the
Johnny Gargano.
Johnny
But
Gargano. Yeah,
I don't like the way they got there, right? And I told you this would be the only venue that he could win the title and not get booed out the building. And it's true.
yeah.
I mean, he was even in the crowd. The crowd was hugging him, and everyone loved him for it, which is good. Good for Sammy. He got his moment.
Yeah,
Now
wait,
what?
wait for the reaction on SmackDown. That's
Yeah,
just where I'm curious.
because he's supposed to come out on SmackDown, of course, because he's
yeah,
a champion there now.
he's the
So that,
champ.
yeah,
So what's gonna happen? And if you bring out Jey Uso to confront him, is Jay gonna be, pop a lot harder than him? I would assume so. Even though
how
Jay's
sad
kind
would
of a
it
pseudo
be?
heel too.
Well, he has. I don't know if they'll give it to Jay just because he's having like an internal beef with Jacob,
Yeah.
and Solo. I think they're going to be tied up. I think they're going to do the Usos versus LA Knight and Solo. I feel.
Yeah, which is another silly thing too, is that now you've got like LA Knight and Solo becoming like BFFs all of a sudden.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, this like
Well,
being
Solo's just doing it out of
friend kind
spite.
thing.
Honestly,
Right.
Solo's just doing it out of spite. So it's just like, cool. But yeah, I don't know. I don't
I
know.
don't know either.
We'll have to find out on SmackDown. But some quick things that we
Yeah.
did miss on Raw. Rey Mysterio defeated Ethan Page in a fun match.
It was
Of
fun.
course,
And
Joe
a clean
Hendry's.
win too.
Yeah,
Totally
it was.
clean win from Rey Mysterio, which I'm not sure that he needed that on Ethan Page. Like I feel like
No.
that kind of squashes Ethan Page a little bit. But it was fun. You're right.
Yeah. And then we had, of course, the Joe Hendry and Street Profits, ceremony where he was singing about Austin Theory. Austin Theory came out. They had a match. Joe Hendry won. We talked about that earlier. More notably, Judgment Day beat down on Io Sky when she was doing her ceremony thing. So, of course, Judgment Day going at it looks like Liv Morgan's trying to go more for a submission now. She's doing the single leg Boston Crab. And so she was taking out Io's knee. Afterwards, though, the reason I bring this up is because I saw that Rhea Ripley tweeted out some explicit words on Judgment Day, which Danhausen retweeted her and asked if she had a business card of sorts to help her out, and she said absolutely, and showed like the gif or the meme of the little girl smiling with the house burning behind her. So I'm loving to see what's going to happen there because Danhausen is. I love Danhausen. We saw a dramatically different Lyra Valkyria explaining why she tagged Bailey.
Yeah. Well, and this is also like, did they take Bailey's split personality crazy gimmick and just
I think they did.
Let's just move it over to Lyra and see if anybody notices.
I think they did. We also had Jimmy Uso defeating LA Knight. And then Solo Sikoa.
Yeah,
wait.
and it was a surprise.
Yeah, because he still won. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, he still won. Solo Sikoa spiked Jimmy Uso at the end for the beatdown. After that, we had Raquel Rodriguez defeating Maxine Dupree, and then Austin Theory gets her backstage and tells her like, "What the hell, this and that," because of Chad Gable. Now he's like the jealous boyfriend.
Clearly, they're lining up like him and Maxine Dupree to get together after the Vision's gone.
Yeah, they're gonna work together.
It's gonna be him and Maxine Dupree. That's totally where this is going.
Then we had Chad Gable defeating JD McDonough with the ankle lock submission, which is awesome.
This was
awesome
my match of the night, by the way. Like that one was really, really good, really solid. It was probably the most kind of understated in terms of storylines and things happening on Raw.
Yeah.
But man, those two are like two of the best workers in the business.
They are
right now.
People forget JD can go. Oh yeah. People forget. He is. I mean, Finn Balor trained him. Like, I mean, he's so good. And they had a great match. I mean, the Spanish Fly. Oh my God! Like, just everything they did was great. Even with the Danhausen shenanigans, where he had the briefcase and was like, "Oh, here's your money," and he got the jersey back from Dom because they trashed earlier in the night. They trashed.
The storyline was they went and trashed Danhausen's
the
laboratory, and then they stole his jersey, and then he stole the jersey back, and then Raquel stole the jersey back. So. Like there was a lot of that kind of sprinkled in, for like,
but it didn't.
Ha entertainment, but it didn't take away from the match.
No, it didn't. It didn't hinder the match whatsoever, which is how it should be, right? Because it didn't like have any stakes in the match. The powder in the face to Dom was hilarious. The crowd popped for it. They loved it. I loved it. This was my match of the night as well. It was good. Chad Gable. I will say the only thing I wish they would have let him keep his original theme music instead of this dad rock. theme song that he has going on. They might as well have Creed sing them out. I mean, it's.
Oh, I know.
I'm just
I was
like,
like, yeah, this is pretty like cheesy and formulaic, but it's fine. I love
I mean,
Jaguar.
he might as well
Like,
come out to pour some sugar on me or something. Like,
I know, right? Well,
but hey,
and the other note too from is they announced that Nick Aldis is on administrative leave now.
mhm.
And I was like, for what? He got basically Gunther was pushing him and the refs, and he pushed Gunther back. And then they're like, he's on administrative leave now. This is unacceptable. We're not gonna, And I was like, unacceptable. Like
We're
Gunther
gonna
was
have Nick
going
Aldis
buck
versus
wild.
Gunther.
Gunther at SummerSlam. This is clearly where it's going to, because now, in the meantime, you have Adam Pearce is going to run both shows. I guess while Nick disappears and just kind of
Yeah.
works on training, but which clearly Nick Aldis isn't going to be Gunther at WrestleMania as SummerSlam. Excuse me. He's not going to beat him. But I really would like him to. Like, I feel like give Nick Aldis a chance to go out there. He's obviously really, really great too.
Here's my thought. Now, Gunther is known to retire people, and that's probably what they're doing this for. Gunther's going to end the career of Nick Aldis. However, if you do that, then you're going to have to move Adam Pearce to SmackDown and Nick Aldis. You're going to have to separate them, because how is he going to tell Gunther what to do and Gunther just wailed on him? How are you going to do that? The other thought is, let Nick Aldis win and humble Gunther, so that way when he runs SmackDown, he can run it with his chest puffed out and like telling Gunther, like, hey, like, you remember what happened to you? Like, you want to go again? Like, you know what I mean? Like, kind of like the dad teaching the kid the lesson, right? Like, you want something like that. Because I feel that would be a good story. Where I doubt they're going to do it. Obviously, Gunther's going to win, but I would like to be at least.
It would be cool to see. That would be super cool to see.
Because Nick Aldis used to wrestle, guys, and he was a former champion. He was, I mean,
wasn't he former NWA champion?
NWA champion, yeah.
Nick Aldis has like a real resume, and he
really
does. Can wrestle. And I would think it was odd that they kind of brought him over in almost this like producer role, and then they made him a GM, but it was kind of like, you're not going to wrestle. And it's like, well, why the heck not? Like, I don't understand that, because he wasn't injured. He's in great shape. He wasn't injured. He didn't have like a career-threatening injury where he had to step away. So that always seemed odd to me, how they held him back from that. So I hope they let him go out there and show off a little bit at least. It's like,
I agree.
Make it a very competitive match.
I agree, because that also, as I was rewatching, I was rewatching Unreal, because the new one's going to debut in a few weeks, but you could see Bobby Roode, and I'm just like, it's such a shame.
I know, so much wasted potential, and it was funny. Like, I think with all the stuff that he did in TNA when he was doing Beer Money.
Yes.
Like, he was so good. Like, I wish they had just done a Beer Money run in WWE.
Just once. That'd have been great. Yeah.
Like,
with James Storm.
I even loved, I mean, I liked the whole Glorious Bobby Roode.
Like, that's my jam. That's on my gym playlist, just so you know. So that's one of the songs that comes out for me.
It should be. It's a great song. And he totally owned it. And he had like the Ric Flair robes and was like just over the top, like very, very kind of 80s, early 90s-esque sort of stuff, which I loved. And and he's always had a great look, and he always was a great worker. And that's where I was just like, man, I really wish that they had pushed him more. But for whatever reason, you got guys like him, you got guys like LA Knight, who still keeps getting hung up and put out to pasture, and you still keep seeing Jey Uso get pushed into title matches all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. He's got to be friends with the right people, I guess. But
speaking of friends with the right people, then the main event segment was Seth Rollins goading Roman Reigns, which he only had Jacob Fatu behind him during that time, obviously, because the Usos were dealing with their stuff. But so essentially that's how Raw wrapped up. We did talk about that already, where Seth Rollins was telling me he's the only person that he hasn't beat and this and that. So obviously goading him into a title match at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
So
they've got all their SummerSlam matches.
We'll see what happens tonight.
Lined up. So we'll see what happens tonight on SmackDown. And then we'll be back to share our thoughts on SmackDown as well. So looking forward to seeing what kind of reception Mr. New Champion Sami Zayn.
That's going to be.
How that's going to go over.
Yeah, because so far, I mean, actually, SummerSlam is August 1st and 2nd, and so far they only have 2 matches confirmed, which is Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Brock Lesnar and Obafemi in Hell in a Cell. So
yeah. Well, and I am at, well, and also did they confirmed Liv Morgan Io Sky though, right? Because she called her out.
no, because they took out her knee. Remember? So
yeah, but
I think
she's still technically, because I mean she's not facing Rhea Ripley, so she's got to be facing Liv Morgan for the.
Oh yeah, they do have it. I'm so sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
Io Sky chooses to challenge. Yeah, sorry, I had to click in there. Sorry. So 3 matches. My bad.
So 3 matches confirmed. I feel like Raquel Rodriguez versus Sol Ruca is probably kind of going to be confirmed at this point, because she like won the #1 contendership on Raw. I don't think they're going to have that happen before SummerSlam. They'll probably build something to that.
That'd be good.
Yeah, we'll see how the rest. They got to fill 2 days worth of matches, so there's going to be plenty of other stuff in there. Hopefully, we'll see a Danhausen versus the Judgment Day match, some sort of
How cool! Sorry, last thing.
Yeah,
you know how there's the mystery person under the thing. How cool would that be if it's Big Cass and Enzo?
Yeah,
and that's his partners. That's his tag team for SummerSlam to face the Judgment Day. Like that would be. That'd be so cool.
That would be epic.
Because there's rumors that they're at the Performance Center right now. So
yeah, I mean, there's rumors that they're training. So, and it would be cool if that was the unveiling time, and just have another great.
And like, Enzo's learned his lesson. He'll be a better locker room buddy. But
exactly, he's a time.
I mean, but they have to come out to the OG song. They have to come out to the OG song. Yeah.
But we'll see.
Hopefully.
But yeah,
fingers crossed.
That's what we got for this week, y'all. Fingers crossed. Remember to like, share, subscribe, leave your comments. What did you think of Night of Champions? What do you think of Sami Zayn as the new WWE champion? We'd love to hear your thoughts as always. And that's what we got for this week. Well, for this week, we'll be back in a day or so with the rest of us. And until then, I've been Michael D'Angelo. He's been El Comandante Daryl Ortiz. Have a great week, everyone.